right. Welcome to today's Q&A. My name is Jessie. This is a trucking questions and answers and fill you in on what's going on here at Decker Truckline. So welcome. This is a weekly Q&A that we do here on our YouTube channel at noon Central on Tuesdays, just to keep you in the loop on what's not only what's going on here at Decker, but what we have available here at Decker as well, since this is the majority of the questions I get answered or asked and I answer is what do we have available? What are the running lanes look like? What's the home time? What's the pay? What kind of equipment? We're going to talk about all that because why not? I mean, you're asking, we might as well answer, right? So this is how it works. If you have a question on what we have available, please put your zip code in the chat and then I'll let you know what we have available out of your area. I'll go into specifics on the running lanes, the actual divisions that we have, whether it's refrigerated or flatbed. Currently, those are the two options that we have available right now. And then we'll dive into the benefits and the equipment and, those questions that you're wanting to know. And so hopefully I beat you to the questions themselves and I answer them. So again, welcome to the Decker Truckline questions and answers, a little Q&A, our weekly Q&A. So yeah, if you're ready, let's get started. Again, you can put your questions into the chat. I'll answer them as they come about because it is a Q&A. That's what it's all about, is answering your questions. But to kind of fill you in on what's going on here at Decker, we've been busy at work, and I say we, but it's mostly our sales and department and everybody there, running and getting even more business. We absolutely love it. So they're working hard to continue to build up our customer database and clientele, making sure that we are increasing the miles for our drivers, which I would say is probably our drivers, that's something that you always want. Our biggest, I don't want to say concern, but biggest interest. There we go. Yeah, you want to see those increasing. So that's what we're seeing. And we have been seeing, especially since the 1st of April, we've been seeing an increase in that, both in the refrigerated and flatbed division. I believe in the flatbed division, we've raised about 8% for additional load volume for the year. So we've increased the load volume about 8% in the flatbed division. And in the refrigerated, about twice that, maybe a little bit more, in the refrigerated division. So we're definitely seeing increases for the load volume, annual load volume, which is fantastic. Absolutely love to see that. What's also fantastic is, and shout out to all those who are working on it, and shout out to those of you who are patient as we have kind of done some restructuring in order to make this happen for you. And what this means is when we're increasing the load volume, it means that we have opportunities to increase the miles for our professional drivers out there. We know that during the pandemic, miles were skyrocketing for everybody, right? Yeah, and then you come off of that and the economy changed quite a bit. So everybody was adjusting and making changes. So we went from 95% contracted freight. It was quite high, and we ended up doing a lot of brokerage freight during some of that time. And you can see now, as we've focused on doing more of the increased contracts, which has helped to improve our load volume, our consistent load volume for our professional drivers. So anyways, that being said, we've definitely decreased the brokerage freight that we've had since, I think, April. Yeah, close to that. Hey, Tim, how are you? Mr. Timothy, good to see you. Job well done, huh? We had bonuses pay out this week, so huge kudos to all of you who earned both a scorecard and safety bonus. If you're not familiar with those, I can give you a little bit of info on that as well. And the reason I give Tim a shout out is because, of course, his name came across the wire. It was earned, yes. So the scorecard bonus, it comes with 7 different criteria. You need to be aware of, well, his case is a little bit different because he's an owner-operator. But on the company side, you need to be aware of your fuel compliance and your idle time, your miles, on-time delivery, CSA points, preventable accidents. I think I said on-time delivery, claims. That's another factor. So there's the 7 criteria right there. Now, as an owner-operator, the idle time and the fuel compliance don't factor into the scorecard bonus. However, we all know that when you're running a business, it's something you're very well aware of, is your idle time and your fuel compliance, because that comes, that basically you see on a day-to-day. So they don't factor in on the bonus payout. That part doesn't, but the rest of the 5 criteria do. So an extra 3 cents a mile is paid out to those who received a perfect score on the scorecard on the owner-operator lease purchase side. An extra 4 cents a mile goes to all of our company drivers who earned a perfect score. And we had quite a few perfect scores. Now that I say that, I should pull up the number here so that we know. Let's see. Let me see. See if I can pull that up. It may or may not. And these are July bonuses, if I failed to tell you that. A July bonus, because we pay out from the month prior. So everything that is completed within July is paid out around the 3rd pay period of the month following that. So that's what you're seeing here. So yes, it paid out yesterday. And we had, as I open this, my data up here, just to give you a little insight, because I know we had 150, over 150, we had 151 actually, company drivers who earned a bonus. I was going to look to see who had the perfect score. I think we had 15 perfect scores, which is 1,000 points for that. But we had 151 company drivers earn a bonus, averaged a little over $160 for that bonus. And then we had 35 owner-operators, lease purchase drivers who also earned a bonus. And that they averaged a little over $240 per bonus. Between the two was well over $30,000 in the scorecard bonus that was paid out. And of course, we had in our safety bonus, we paid out an additional $2,000, excuse me, in the safety bonus. And now the safety bonus, we had 251 drivers who had 100 more drivers who scored on the safety bonus. They earned an average just under $80 on average, and as a company driver, as an owner operator, they earned just under $90 as an owner operator for average. We had about 22 owner operators who earned that. But yeah, I throw Tim in there because of course he's a regular on earning those bonuses. He's like, yeah, I'll take that. Free money. It's earned. Nice try. Yeah. So that's good. Actually, and then I was going to say, Tim, didn't you have like an anniversary or birthday that was this week as well? Yeah, I think you did, didn't you? I should double check. Your name came across a couple of times. Anything to scare him, right? No. But yes, we have our scorecard and our safety bonus that paid out yesterday. If you guys had any questions on it, feel free to ask. Yes, indeed. Please feel free to ask. Where was I going? I was going somewhere with all of that information, right? Yeah. But anyways, back to kind of our increase, our refrigerated division. We have it was about 17. So yeah, it was a little more than double that of the flatbed division so far. So that we've increased the load volume. Love to see that. And what that means for our professional drivers is that it's going to be increasing your load. So, and from the time you get going on it, it's going to take a little bit of time to see that load increase or the volume increase, but you'll be seeing that here shortly. And we're continuing to work to get even more bids out there from previous years. So we've got our commercial sales team and our pricing and networking management team. we love that because the pricing network and management team, they're helping to give us the data, the numbers, so that we know where we're at and how we can better serve not only our customers but also our professional drivers. So we're kind of knowing where the best areas for you are. Yeah, a little bit of more progress for that. But big shout out, big thank you to all of our professional drivers as we maneuver, as we grow, as we're we're growing these for you. Your patience in all of it, yes, for sure. Shout out to both Lyle Turville and Todd Overson. Lyle and Todd got to compete in the National Truck Driving Championships last week. I've got some videos coming out. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy Turville, she sent me some videos and pictures of the event. They had quite some time, it sounds like. But both of them were competing in the sleeper berth competition, the sleeper berth division. Lyle is not new to the National Truck Driving Championships. He's participated 4 or 5 times. Is this his 5th national? Now I'm getting it all mixed up. But Todd, this was his first time competing. And so I think recognizing how, as somebody who is an elite driver, Todd has earned the grand champion here at Decker, which is quite an achievement. Between you're looking at your constant scorecard scores, your safety scores, your deliveries and miles and performance overall. I mean, there's quite a bit that goes into the driver of the year, driver of the month, and driver of the year. I mean, you've got your tiers, right? And then of course the grand champion above that. But to toot Todd's horn here, he has earned that title, and he has earned the driver of the year, of course, in the past. But with the grand champion title, he's like, yeah, it's quite different doing the National Truck Driving Championships. It was eye opening. But he looks forward to more competitions, and I look forward to rooting him on as well. Lyle placed 14th among all of those who participated. Now, these are the best of the best, right? And of course, placing both Todd and Lyle in the best of the best of the sleeper berth here. And then Todd placed 36, so not too shabby for his first time as well. Yeah, very, very well done. And Lyle has, I'm trying to remember, 16th, I believe, last year. He's continuing to improve on his placing as well. It's pretty exciting. Brake Safety Week, right? It is the middle of Brake Safety Week. And I didn't talk a whole lot about this last week, and unless you guys are asking, we won't talk too much about it, but inspections, there's a daily routine, right? You've got your pre-inspections, your post-inspections, and of course, if you go in for an inspections, which, speaking of, we had 10 clean inspections. I forgot how many. We had 10 clean inspections last week, which we paid out over $600 for in bonuses there. Each week we pay out $50 per clean inspection throughout the fleet. But that being said, the focus this week is brake safety, and this is the CVSA, which is the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, CVSA, yes. And each year they schedule time in August to have Brake Safety Week. And it's the focus, obviously, is on the linings and the pads and anything related to the brakes. This year specifically linings and pads, but really anything when it comes to brakes and the brake system, that's going to be the focus for the inspection each year. So level 1, level 5 inspections are where they're going to be doing the biggest part of the brake portion. So make sure that you're checking everything ahead of time. Should be doing that anyway. So it shouldn't be anything new for sure, but it's always a good reminder. So hi Bob, how are you? So yeah, it shouldn't be anything new, but it's always a good reminder to have to be thorough in your process. Right? Good. All right, let's talk about some of that refrigerated freight. A lot of our over-the-road refrigerated freight runs out west. So if you're in our OTR division, it runs coast to coast. You've got obviously a longer length of haul, but we do a lot in the Northwest, Washington, Northern Oregon, Montana. We've got freight in the Salt Lake City area. We do run quite a bit up I-5 from Fontana, California, Los Angeles, California, up to Seattle, although the majority of our hiring is going to be around the Portland area, some Hermiston and Pendleton area, which is off of 5, but in the state of Oregon. And then we also have Tacoma, Seattle, Washington, the Tri-Cities, and then of course Spokane on the way on 90 of there all the way over towards Missoula. Missoula, we have a terminal in Missoula, and that's more of our OTR division, and so we've got the terminal with quite a bit of amenities at the location in the Professional Driver Center. Let's see, I'm trying to think of all of the amenities that we have. We do, of course, have the washer and dryer if available to you. We've got the showers. We do have a car that you can sign out if you need to run some errands while your truck is getting an A or B service or truck washed. While that's being taken care of, you can run your errands. We have a couple of private rooms which kind of give you some time to decompress, just chill a little bit. Sometimes you might need to get some work done, like paying some bills or whatever it might be. You have access to a phone. There's a lounger there. There's a computer. You've got access to everything. I think there's a computer. Now that I say that, I'm going to backpedal. And then, of course, a TV too. So if you don't want to share the space with anybody, you can kind of relax on your own. We also have, of course, the public area with games and vending machines and stuff like that there as well. We do allow pets, so we do have a designated dog area. I should be more specific. We allow dogs. There you go. We do allow dogs. And there's a designated dog area there. We do have a barbecue area as well, if you're going to be spending a little bit of time and relaxing there. And then we have, so that's Missoula. And then we do have availability for the over-the-road refrigerated division out of Salt Lake area within about a 30 to 40 mile radius of Salt Lake. We also have hire out of Vegas currently for that position. We have freight out of the Denver, Colorado area, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and then in the Midwest, we do have quite a bit of freight there. That is going to be those are going to be heavier freight lanes for us. In Chicago, always real busy. Milwaukee, of course, the state of Iowa, quite busy. Kansas City, very busy. We do run into Texas and the Carolinas. Right now, as far as available hiring, we are full in the Texas area, but we still do run in there. So make sure that you guys are aware when you're coming aboard. If you're looking to come aboard, that you know the areas we run. Texas to the Carolinas, pretty consistent there as well. And then we don't do a whole lot of the New England states. Sometimes we run up there, and I say that because I know we have an ice cream load that runs into southwestern New York. Yes, southwestern New York. We also have one in Maryland, Laurel, Maryland. But most of it is going to be in the Midwest, more centralized in the Midwest around the Chicago area. Midwest. We do have freight out of Atlanta, Georgia, Albany. Yeah, what did I say yesterday? I can't even remember, but it was way off. Anyways, we've got freight there. It's over the road refrigerated. Usually you're out 11 days at a time and then home for 3. That's for the more regional position, a little bit more home time. Where if you're over the road, you're looking at about 2 to 3 weeks at a time and home for 4 to 5 days. So if you're out west, you can expect about 2 to 3 weeks out at a time and then home for 4 to 5 days. If you're home or if you're living in the Midwest, you could probably get home about every 11 days for 3 days. You can stay out longer, but that's usually our quickest turnaround for you that's currently available. Now for the for the type of freight that we haul, we do ice cream. I mentioned that. We do a lot of frozen, of course, and fresh meats. We'll do produce. You know, we've got some dry van as well, but in available positions, you're seeing a lot of the refrigerated, temperature controlled. So, and then hi Jeff, how are you? My fellow Montanan, enjoying some wind and sunshine, I'm sure. So we also have our flatbed division. So our flatbed division, a couple of different options. If you live in the Midwest, if you live from, let's see, Fort Dodge, Iowa, to Mason City, Iowa, or Mason City over to Iowa City, on over to Columbus, north to Toledo, into Indianapolis as well. So I skipped there, but Indianapolis is a good area for us, up north to Chicago and Milwaukee. Those are good areas, and currently we are hiring out of there for our home weekly flatbed division. Our Midwest flatbed division get you home usually on a Friday night or a Saturday morning, and then home or then back out either Sunday night or Monday morning. That's flatbed. That's pretty normal. Refrigerated, I want to backpedal for just a second. Refrigerated, when you're coming on your home time, it's not usually on the weekend because, I mean, sometimes it can be, but it's not always on the weekend. So that's not something we can guarantee. Where the flatbed, coming home on the weekend's pretty normal because flatbed freight doesn't usually run on the weekend. But again, with the refrigerated, you're looking usually, I mean, you can be coming home on a Sunday or a Monday, Tuesday type thing. Our cutoff is on Tuesday night, tonight, at what's that, midnight, but get everything in by 10, make sure you're safe, and I'm doing good, thank you. And then then you get paid that Friday. So everything that's in today will get paid this Friday for direct deposit. And you're paid mileage pay. However, we have that safety net, that minimum pay of $1,000 a week. But our goal is to make sure that we're getting you the miles so that you can obviously see more than that $1,000 minimum. We want to see you blow past it, exceed it. Exceed that mileage, not just rely on the minimum pay, because you'll see more the other way around. Rate of pay, I didn't hit on that in the refrigerated division, so I probably should. So on the refrigerated side, rate of pay per mile is going to be based on your experience level, up to 65 cents a mile to start, although you do get a penny raise after 90 days, and then every year on your anniversary as well. The cap right now is at 70 cents a mile. And then with flatbed, we do start up to 70 cents a mile. That is still our cap, even on the flatbed division, flatbed side. But if you have over 15 years of experience, you'd be able to start on flatbed at the 70 cents a mile. In all cases, 10 cents per mile is per diem, so you're not taxed on 10 cents a mile. And that's across the board, whether you have a year of experience or you've got 20 years of experience. That's how much it would be non-taxable. There we go. Now for the flatbed, like I said, we can get you home on a weekly basis if you live in that area, that Iowa area, Illinois, in the Midwest. If you're in, if you're in Alabama or the Carolinas or Mississippi, we do have over-the-road flatbed available, which would get you home about every other weekend. Now, again, the rate of pay per mile, that is up to 70 cents per mile, and again, based off of your experience level. So you'll see your mileage pay based off your experience. And we do have that minimum pay, but you'll make more going beyond that, and that's why we work with you to manage time and to maximize those miles. Right? That's exactly what you're wanting. And then I think I said home every other weekend. For freight, for the flatbed, we do a lot of steel beams, and we do some coils, wallboard, sheetrock wallboard. We do that. Building supplies mostly, so lumber as well, but lots of building supplies. We do have other loads as well, but we don't do a whole lot of oversized or heavy haul. So if that's something you're looking for, that's not quite something we do. A lot of building supplies instead. Tarping and securing loads, yes, you need to know how to do that. And yes, we do train, especially if you have over a year of experience, we'll train in how to tarp and secure a load if flatbed is new to you. Orientation is 3 days long, roughly 3 days, about 2.5 to 3 days, depending on your week, on the week, and that's for an experienced driver. An inexperienced driver, it's a week long, but for someone who has at least 6 months of experience, you're looking at about a 3-day orientation. We do have you do your drug test, and we do both the hair follicle and the urinalysis, so I should say drug tests, and then we do the online orientation as well. That is usually a number of modules, followed by a couple of questions, and then you'll have another module followed by questions, etc. But you'll do your drug tests, your physical, and your online orientation before you arrive in orientation class. Now, there's an extra $100 once you've completed the online orientation. You do get an extra $100 on top of the $500 you get for orientation. That'll be paid to you on Friday, like we talked about before. You get paid on Friday. And then you'll get your minimum pay for the week that following Friday. At least, depending on what miles you're able to get in, because you will probably be dispatched Thursday at the very latest, to get you moving. What did I miss? I was going to say for the physicals, if your physical is still good for another 6 months, a year, we can probably use that. We'll just need to get a copy of your long form, and that way we can get that approved and signed off. So yeah, but the hair follicle and the urinalysis, of course, we'll have to we do that new when you come aboard. But I'm sure you're within the trucking industry, you're very well aware of that. That's no news. And then you'll go through company policies, procedures, you'll walk through the truck and all of the amenities with the shop. By the way, our equipment comes with a lot of amenities. TV, refrigerator, microwaves, CB units, navigation. We've got the TransFlow, a GeoTab with the TransFlow app. They are very well equipped. Speaking of, we do need to, I was trying to think of what all we had. If you want to use the TV, it's a 22-inch television, plus it has 100 plus channels. But if you want to use the local channels, then you'll need to scan, because you can just scan those every time you park. That way you get the local. I know a lot of you guys like that for the weather, so yeah. What else for equipment? They're double bunk trucks. They're very well maintained, newer model. Of course, that helps. And of course, the maintenance is up on them. We do a great job on the maintenance program, or through the maintenance program. 24/7 roadside assistance as well, and our 24/7 night ops operations rolls into night ops after that to take good care of you. What am I missing? I think equipment-wise, I've hit on the basics. Inverters, they are automatic. They're at 68 on the cruise, 65 on the pedal. Most of them are the 579 Peterbilts, but we have some Volvos, 860, 780 on the refrigerated side, and some 740s on the flatbed, and then a few Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions in a combination of the divisions. So yeah, we've got that as well. Our benefits, they start after 60 days. You get 1 week of vacation after 6 months. You'll get another week at your 1 year anniversary. And then at your 2-year anniversary, you'll get another week of vacation. Then it'll increase. I believe you'll get 2 weeks at 3 years. And then you'll continue to get the 2 weeks until you hit 7 years. And then you're getting 3 weeks a year at once you hit your 7-year mark. So yeah, of course your vacation grows with your years of experience. But 60 days is when you'll get your benefits. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have an 80/20 plan, dental, vision. We have multiple in multiple short, like insurances, like short-term supplement insurances, like short-term, long-term disability, critical illness. There's quite a bit supplement. Benefits for the prescriptions are fantastic. They're brag worthy anymore. I mean, that has been a huge win for us the last couple of years. We've with the prescription, you can save, depending on what you, if you have a prescription, then you could probably save thousands of dollars a month in some cases. And that is a $0 copay for generic. If you go anywhere you go, besides Walgreens or CVS. Now we also have the $0 $0 brand name or specialty drugs. That's available to you as well with the prescription program. It's a separate program. It doesn't cost you more to be part of that one. It is just an extra step for signing up for that prescription because it is mail versus like mailing prescription 60, 90 days versus going into a pharmacy to get that. So there, yeah, lots of coverage that way. Speaking of benefits, before I forget, we do have a FedLogic webinar tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you want to be part of that and you're part of the Decker family, then check your newsletter because there's information on that that link that you can sign up for and have the reminder. But they will go over Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. So that's what this month's webinar is. They do a webinar every month, and they'll have the replays, but they're really beneficial, especially if you're getting near retirement and you want to know a little bit about what to expect next. That's a great one for you. That said, though, just because you're not going into retirement here in the next couple of years, it's still extremely beneficial to educate yourself in advance because the sooner we prepare, the better we'll be once we get there, right? I think that's a given. Yeah. Where am I? Benefits. FedLogic. Also, we have more of like a stem cell as well. That's a fantastic addition to it, to the benefits. We have a 401k with a 50% match. 50% match on the 401k. And you can put in up to 8% of your total earnings to receive that 50% match. So that's a great one as well. What else am I missing? Equipment. Those are the normal questions that I get. So keeping you in the loop. Yes. Benefits are all after 60 days, even the 401k. Yes, indeed. If you guys have more questions or if you're looking to get started, you'll want to speak to one of our recruiters. This telephone number, 877-433-2537. That one, 877-433-2537. That's directly to the recruiting department. They'll be able to be more specific on what we have available out of your area, what to expect your rate per mile, what kind of miles to expect. And that's going to depend on the division, of course, the way you run to your time management. So those are always important. We talked about the minimum pay. Now, of course, there's qualifications for the minimum pay. So just to review that, you need to be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no late loads, no CSA violations for the week, no preventable accidents for the week. And the last one is turn in your paperwork. Did I say all those? Be available for dispatch 5 days out of the week. No load refusals. Turn in your paperwork. 100% on-time delivery. No CSA violations and preventable accidents. I did say all those. Okay. Just making sure. Couldn't remember. But that's the minimum pay. Remember what I said though? With the minimum pay, that's your safety net. Our goal, what we want is to see our professional drivers exceed that minimum pay. If you're exceeding the miles to get that minimum pay, obviously you're going to be seeing more. That's what we want to do, is see you succeed in that. So work with your driver team leader to get those numbers. If you aren't, or and you need that additional coaching, make sure that you communicate with them. That's what they're there for. They went through some massive training. I say massive. Intense training. There you go. In order to provide you the guidance and leadership that you might need to help improve your numbers. So they're there to make you better. And they're there to do better for you. There we go. All the way around. So yeah, that's what we have here for you today. You do get a penny raise after you've been here for 90 days and annually. I'm not sure if I mentioned that for the flatbed, but I know I mentioned it for refrigerated, but it applies to both. Cap right now is at 70 cents a mile, so of course beyond 70. If you're a flatbed and you're starting at 70, that's where you'll be after 90 days as well. Okay, excellent. Yeah, now so for talking about some of the equipment, who posted the other day? It was last night. Oh man, that was a beautiful truck. The 389s, aren't those sharp? I like it. Was that Greg that posted that? It's absolutely gorgeous. So, but yeah, we have mostly 579 Pete's. We have some 389s, but that usually goes to our veteran drivers who've been here over 15 years, and then they get to spec the trucks a little bit. But those are the 389s. Not quite as roomy as the 579s. There is a bigger sleeper there, but there's more chrome. They look sharp. You gotta admit, they look pretty darn sharp. And then we've got our Volvos, like I mentioned, and the Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. Mostly Pete's. Odds are, if you're coming aboard to Decker, if that's new to you, you'll be looking at a 579. That's the majority of what we have. Speaking about coming aboard to Decker, let's talk about qualifications. We definitely weigh tickets, moving violations, anything like that quite heavily. You need a clean safety record. So no major moving violations in the last 3 to 5 years. No DUIs or DWIs in the last 5 years. Don't exceed more than 2 tickets within the last 3 years. And those are like tickets such as a 5-over ticket or would be not a major moving violation. Major moving violations would disqualify you right away. Following too close, erratic lane change, reckless, careless, 15-over tickets, cell phone tickets, anything like that. That's an automatic. We'd have to wait till at least 3 years, if not more, on any of those. And we're looking at the same when it comes to accidents. If you have a major DOT recordable accident, it'd have to be at least 3 years, if not 5 years old. If you've got a backing incident in the last 12 months, we can work with that as long as you don't have, three accidents or backing incidents, turning incidents in the last 3 years, and then we can take a look and see if we can help you. So yeah. Poplar says, I hear y'all got a lease purchase program. Are there any stats on the percentage of completion? Actually, the stats for the completion I don't have for recent. We have had pretty decent numbers in the past, but the answer is actually no. The lease purchase program that we've had, and we do have some people still finishing it, we are not extending the lease purchase option right now. It financially just wouldn't make sense to lease drivers right now. We do have owner operators here as well as lease purchase, but we're not signing on any new owner operators or lease purchase at this time. So we want to make sure that it works financially for you as well as for the company, of course. But and the way that we run our lease purchase is, with the exception, of a few that had kind of grandfathered in on the owner operator side, but the way that we run our lease purchase is it is 72% of the load, 72% of the load plus the fuel surcharge. So 90% of the fuel surcharge on the refrigerated load, because Decker pays for the reefer fuel, so 10% goes towards the reefer truck, or reefer trailer, sorry. But 72% of the load plus the fuel surcharge. On flatbed, you get obviously 100% of the fuel surcharge because there's no reefer unit for us to fuel. But yes, our lease purchase is actually on hold. We haven't extended that because we want to make sure it makes sense for you. And if it's if we're not going to see success for you, there's no reason to put you into lease purchase, and we don't want to see anybody fail. We've got good stats for it. We want to keep it that way. But yeah, the lease purchase, you want those freight rates to be to work for you, and right now they're not high enough for a lot of you guys to stay in the lease purchase program. So, or to go into the lease purchase, I should say. When you first start, you're running a business, and we want to make sure that you'll succeed in it. But company-wise, yes, we do pay for. I'm trying to think, the way that we run our lease purchase too, or have run our lease purchase, is very similar to the company side, where you're running for the most part, as a company driver, you're paid different because obviously you've made an investment and are making an investment, and then you're compensated at 72% of the load, whereas a company driver is paid mileage pay, with a minimum, with a safety net there, but a little bit different that way. Mm-hmm. So you heard it. It is correct, but we are not currently offering it. So I'm sorry if that's what you were hoping to get into, but just know that we're not offering it because we don't want to see somebody fail at it when it's just not the right timing. There's ups and downs with lease purchases, right? When the economy is up and you want to take advantage of it, during the pandemic, it was the time. It was time for people to lease. Yeah. Yep. Hear ya. And again, like I said, Tim is, he's an owner-operator, but multi-truck. How are both your trucks doing? He's got a show truck that is beautiful. My mic is a little bit low. Okay, let's see. Usually let me turn this up then. Thanks for letting me know. I didn't want to be blasting you guys, especially when I laugh, because sometimes that's too much. But thank you. Okay, I turned it up a little bit, so hopefully it's not too bad on the ears. But thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that. So company drivers, refrigerated and flatbed, currently available. If that's something that you're looking for, 877-433-2537. Talk to a recruiter. I do want to give you a heads up that the qualifications, like we talked about, we do work with 21 years and up. A clean driving record, that's very important. Your work history is going to be something that we look at too. Making sure that you've haven't been with a ton of companies, and the reason we look at that is because we're looking to take care of you, to coach you, to invest time into you. If you're not willing to make those efforts, it's usually a reflection. Not always, but oftentimes. So your work history is definitely going to be taken into consideration. Your safety record is most definitely going to be taken into consideration, and also, obviously we can't see miles, but we can see performance. So and that a lot of performance activity is going to make a big difference too, in whether or not we'd feel that you'd be a good fit for Decker. So much better. Awesome. Thank you. So all things to consider. But if there's something specific that you're wondering about whether or not we can work with it, either throw it in the chat and I'll answer you that way, or get a hold of the recruiters. Ask, and instead of having to go through the application process and, getting the verifications and all that, and then finding out, ask ahead of time. Have that peace of mind so that yep, they've told me I'll be able to work with it. We just need to do our due diligence and get that application in and whatnot. Or, hold off until you know that you'll be able to get approved. So it makes a big difference. We don't want to waste your time either, takes a minute. Even though the Intelli app is super quick, it's still a little bit of your time. Got to respect it. Cool. All right, so be prepared for the Brake Safety Week. We're in full swing of it right now, so I'm sure you guys have already experienced a little bit of it. But please stay safe. We are headed into Can you believe this? We're headed into the Labor Day weekend very soon. So I'm looking at my calendar. Can you see my calendar? It's my Decker calendar. We have all those pictures that are in our Decker calendar come from professional drivers that are here at Decker. And we get to vote. We get to highlight who posted them or who shared them and where they were at. They're the best pictures. I mean, I would like to say that I could take pictures like that, but you guys have probably seen my photography and said, no, you really can't. Before I let you go, rider policies. We do allow riders up to, or at age 10 and up. So we do allow a rider at 10 and up. It's $25 a month for a rider. They can ride year round with the right paperwork. And then of course the dog policy. And the reason this is what reminded me is yesterday was National Dog Day. Did you guys post your dog? I know not everybody is dog lovers, but a lot of us here at Decker are. And if you saw our Facebook post, those are my dogs. Those are my puppies. Actually, they're 5 months old, and I'm quite proud of them. But we would love to see your co-pilot. If you want to share them on our Facebook page in the comments, please do so. It might be a day late, but we still get to enjoy their adorableness. And so the dog policy is one dog, no more than 85 pounds combined, or two dogs, no more than, okay, I don't even know what I just said. No more than 60 pounds combined if you have two dogs, that's what I meant. I don't know where you're going to combine 85 pounds of one dog, or one dog up to 85. There you go. Did I make that confusing? You're welcome. It's $500 for the dog policy, $100 before they ride with, and of course shot records and a picture are needed before they can be approved. So, I mean, they don't have to be a certain number of adorableness. That's not what the picture is for. It's just to identify the dog. And as far as the rules go, you do need to make sure that they are on a leash and kenneled. If you're in one of the facilities that is not dog, I was going to say dog compliant, but it's not dog reserved for dogs, I should say, because there is a designated dog area. And actually in Fort Dodge is our main terminal. We have quite the PDC there. We have a couple of driver's rooms, like a Decker motel, some games. We have an area specifically for dogs, but we also have a wash bay for dogs. It's a wash bay. Yeah, it's a dog bathing facility. It's cool. But we all know sometimes they need a bath. And nobody's going to give them a bath for you, but that all of the equipment is there for you. Oh, we're not quite there, but yes, it's all the equipment is there for you that you can use. Kind of nice to have. Plus, then then some of them get to see your pup and enjoy their presence too. All right, I have taken up some of your time, so thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to visit us next week, I'll be here, noon Central. And of course, on Mondays, like I said, on Mondays, we do our live at 4 p.m. Central Time on our Facebook page. We won't be there for Labor Day, but other than that, we're pretty much live as much as we can to answer your questions. Thanks, you guys, for all that you do. Thank you for your patience as we've been restructuring and building this customer base for you. It's good news because miles are always important to our professional drivers, and that makes sense, right? Miles, home time, that's what you like to see, and that's what we want to make sure we can provide for you. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next week. But in the meantime, if you have questions, feel free to give the recruiters a call, 877-433-2537. And I think that's about it for me. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Go enjoy a little bit of sunshine coming in that window. And take your time, be patient, because I know there's still construction out there. 'Tis the season. That's what I think of with Labor Day. All right, I'm done. Take